Hey, 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 you're waking up with Craig. Good morning on Thursday, November 29th. We start with our morning quote. The only time my prayers are never answered is on the golf course. And amen to that. I suck at golf. But a team that's going to need their prayers to be answered is the Dallas Cowboys tonight. Joining me now is Walker Thomas. Walker, what do you think about this game tonight?
Hey there, Craig. I hate to say it because I hate the Cowboys with a passion. But I have a feeling this is going to be a mid 20 game and the Cowboys pull it off 28-24.
The only way that the Saints lose this game is if the Cowboys somehow get over like 48 points. The Saints are going to score at least 42 points.
I'm telling you right now, the Saints are due for a trap game. And there's no better trap game than against the Cowboys. In Dallas, in Jerry World, with a defense that looks pretty good.
So what do you think the key is for the Cowboys if they're going to pull off this upset?
The key to the Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence. He needs to get to Drew Brees, and he needs to make his presence known. He needs to have at least 3 sacks. He's got to rush. He's got to get pressure on Drew. And the rest of the Cowboys' defensive line, they need to get pressure on Drew.
I think the only way the Cowboys even stay in this game is if Ezekiel Elliott gets the ball a lot and often, and he takes time off the clock. I think they need to keep it out of Drew Brees' hands. I think they need to keep it between, 21, 28 points. If the Saints start getting to 35, 42 points, this game's going to get out of hand because I don't think the Cowboys can score that much. Do you like a guy in fantasy tonight?
I could go with the obvious Ezekiel Elliott, who I have on my team, and he has helped me tremendously this year. I could go with a guy like Alvin Kamara, who is a stud. He's a bona fide superstar in the NFL. But I'm going to go with a sleeper who I saw play last week and the week before, and he impressed me, and that is one Traquan Smith.
And this Traquan Smith guy, he was out there catching passes, and I'm like, who is this scrub? I have Alvin Kamara. Give him the ball. But no, they're throwing to Traquan Smith, and in the last 2 weeks, he has impressed me. Someone who has not been impressive, or a team that hasn't been impressive, is the Bucs. They had the smallest home crowd last week in 8 years. They're offering some free tickets to some of the season ticket holders to the home game versus the Panthers. Walk, what does that say about the Bucs?
I'm telling you, last December, I went to a Monday night football game where they played the Atlanta Falcons in Tampa, and my ticket cost $30. $30. I'm telling you, they've been giving the tickets away for years. They just suck, and nobody cares about them in Tampa.
So, what is the biggest issue with the Buccaneers right now?
I mean, you're changing quarterbacks every week. You don't know who's the guy. One week it's Fitzmagic. The next week it's Jameis Winston. And I'm telling you, there's a lot going wrong in Tampa. And they should be a good team. They have the players to be a good team.
I mean, they have Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans. They had Jameis, who at times looked okay. Fitz looked okay, but they got to stick with one guy. They had Peyton Barber, who's okay at running back. They could use another guy to help him out. O.J. Howard has been a good tight end for them. And their defense isn't bad. I mean, they played with the Steelers. They started out hot. Their head coach isn't great. They have a lot to figure out there. But it seems like LeBron already has something figured out. It looks like he is going to send his child to Duke. What do you think about the recent comments about LeBron saying he hopes Coach K is still there?
I mean, why wouldn't you? You got the best coach in maybe the history of basketball with the chance to coach your son. Since he can't just jump from high school to the pros, you might as well go for a year under the best coach in the history of the game.
Now, what do you think that Coach K and Duke, is it even fair anymore for some of these schools to get recruits?
I mean, until this year, really, they haven't been the highest recruiting class. You look at Kentucky, who's had all these one-and-dones. It's just something about Duke basketball, playing for Coach K. He just gets these guys going. He knows he gets them to play for him. He gets them to buy in. It's beautiful basketball.
Well, someone that gets another chance to play, shockingly, is Reuben Foster to the Redskins. What message does this send to everybody?
I don't know, dude. I'm at a loss for words with this. This guy has had 2 domestic violence accusations since February. And it's getting to a point with the NFL, they really are starting to let the convicts run the prison.
And it's wild because the Ray Rice thing we heard about, and then we saw the video. And it wasn't until we saw the video that he got so and so banned for time and everything. And as much as I love Adrian Peterson, the thing of beating his son, and then he was welcomed back, and all these players, like, we're starting to send the message that winning is more important than people's lives and people's safety. What do you think about that one?
I totally agree. In their defense, though, I did see that Coach Gruden did come over the media, and he said that there's no guarantee that he will play. But still, I don't think you can go and bring this guy into your facility at this point, a week removed from an incident. I think it just sends a bad message to your team, and it sends a bad message to the NFL, and the NFL, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, case after case after case.
And I think it's just giving a bad look for the NFL. A few teams that look good in the past, but looking bad this year, are the Packers, the Falcons, and the Jaguars. What one of those teams do you think has the most troubling future ahead?
I think it's a toss-up between the Green Bay Packers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Falcons, they'll figure it out. They got the talent, they got the young guys, they got the quarterback. They'll figure it out. But I think the problem with the Packers is they have Aaron Rodgers, so they're never gonna go 4-12. They're always gonna be right in the hunt, and that doesn't help when you're trying to get good draft picks. And as far as the Jaguars go, Blake Bortles needs to go. I know they benched him for this week, but come on. Cody Kessler?
and I agree with you. I think the Falcons, they have Coleman and two great running backs. They have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, 3 great receivers. Hooper's not an awful tight end. Matt Ryan is a good quarterback. Their defense is okay. I mean, yes, Steve Sarkisian and the offense hasn't played great, but Dan Quinn and them will get it going, and I think that they're going to figure out some things next year and the year after that. The two to me, the same as you, is the Packers and the Jaguars. I'm going to start with the Jaguars, and I said this last night. The Jaguars just have so much going on. Their defense is good, but part of me thinks they might even have too much personality going on over there. The Leonard Fournette has not been healthy, so it's hard to tell what's happening there. And yes, Bortles is not good. He's not good. But they also don't have any weapons. These other two teams we name have receivers that we talk about as top 10 receivers in the league. So is it fair to Blake Bortles that his running back has been unhealthy, that he has no name receivers to throw to? No. Is Blake Bortles still bad? Yes, of course. To me, I'm a little worried about the Packers. And as a Vikings fan, it's awesome. But as a sports fan, it's a little troubling because as long as they keep Mike McCarthy, I think it's a bad and a dark future ahead. What do you think the biggest issue for the Packers is?
Mike McCarthy is definitely the biggest issue, but that's not the issue I'm going to talk about. Aaron Rodgers got paid. And if you look at the New England Patriots, who have the best quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, he has continuously taken pay cut after pay cut just so they can create a team around him. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem willing to do that. He seems more worried about himself and his own money than he cares about winning. And I think that is a huge problem for the Green Bay Packers.
And I agree. I think that Aaron Rodgers has played well. He deserves some money, but the Packers got to decide if they need to get Aaron Rodgers some help or if they have the guys to do it and they just don't have the right guy at the helm. Those teams need some work. Some teams that think they've put in enough work is Ohio State, Georgia, and Oklahoma fighting for that 4th spot. Walk, I know you're a huge Ohio State fan. Is Ohio State the best one of those 3 teams?
I am a huge Ohio State fan, and I would be lying if I said Ohio State was better than Georgia. But I am a firm believer that this playoff is about finding the best teams. But if Georgia goes and they lose to Alabama by more than really 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 14 or so.
If they lose by more than 14 points, you cannot put them in over Ohio State if Ohio State goes out and takes care of business against Northwestern. And honestly, don't get me started on Oklahoma. Oklahoma should not be the number 5 team in this country. They have continuously gone out and given up 40-plus points, multiple games. They're going out squeaking by West Virginia in a 49-46 game. They barely beat Oklahoma State. And yes, I know Ohio State, they had a bad loss to Purdue, a 29-point loss to Purdue. But every year there's a team that has a bad loss. And right now Ohio State's trending in the right direction. They're playing better. They just destroyed the number 4 team in Michigan, who had the best defense in the FBS. I just think if Ohio State goes out there and they destroy Northwestern like they should, and Georgia loses to Alabama, I don't think there's any way you can keep them out.
And I agree. I think Georgia is going to lose to Alabama, so I think they're out. So it comes down to Oklahoma, Ohio State. And we have to discuss, is it the 4 best teams or is it the 4 most deserving? Because I think that was their always biggest argument. Is I always hear, well, it's the 4 best teams, 4 best teams. Well, the committee says they want the 4 most deserving teams to get in. And I think right now Ohio State is more deserving than Oklahoma just because Oklahoma doesn't play any defense. They just don't play any defense. And they want someone who can at least compete with Alabama. Oklahoma, I mean, they might score 40, but if they don't stop Alabama, Alabama's going to put up 80.
If this Alabama team played Oklahoma, Tua would throw for 10 touchdowns. This Oklahoma defense looks like a JV high school football defense. It is atrocious.
Now, talking about that, though, can anyone beat Alabama?
I really don't think so. I think Alabama, their closest win is going to be 20 points, and that's against Clemson, that's against Ohio State, that's against Oklahoma, Georgia, that's against anybody. They are too good this year, and I really hate to say that because I hate Alabama.
And Alabama has played great this year. They have made some noise. Can the Lakers make any noise in the West?
You know, I came into this NBA season thinking that the Lakers would be at the lowest, a 4 seed, of maybe getting to a 2 seed. And they haven't been the best, but I think if they can get this figured out, if they make some big trades to get some better pieces around LeBron, I think they definitely can make some noise in the West.
And I think what this Lakers team has proven is this is no longer a 1 superstar team league anymore. You need at least 2 superstars to compete. And sometimes 2 isn't even enough. You can have 1 great superstar and then 4 good basketball players, and sometimes now it's not even enough. I think they talked about going out and getting Bradley Beal, and I think he would be a great player for them. I think he's a guy who can score, and they would give up maybe Ingram, and they would give up probably Lonzo, which honestly I'm not the biggest Lonzo fan, so to me that's not a huge loss. The Ingram one hurts a little bit just because of his size, but I think that LeBron just needs another playmaker. What do you think the Lakers need to make that next push?
I think that before the season, I wanted them to go out and get Kemba Walker in a trade because he is a stud. Kemba Walker is a bona fide superstar in the NBA. He has proven that this year, but I don't think that Charlotte can part with him at this point.
He's played so great this year. I don't think they'll let him go.
I don't either, but I think Bradley Beal is somebody that the Lakers need to go out and they need to get. You need to give up anybody except LeBron, Hart, and Kuzma. You keep those 3 together, and then you trade Ingram, you trade Ball, you trade whoever else you have to. But you need to go out and get at least Bradley Beal and 1 other decent role player.
I just think right now they have good role players. They just don't have enough playmakers who score and who get to the rim. I think Josh Hart is starting to trend in the direction where he can score a lot. Kuzma can score a ton. LeBron obviously does LeBron things, but they just need another guy who can score. And LeBron doesn't have Kyrie anymore to score. He doesn't have Kevin Love when Kevin Love was playing very good. I think he needs that other scorer. Now, the NBA has a lot of time left. We're on week 13 in the NFL. We're getting towards the end. What are your predictions for the Super Bowl this year? Who do you think gets there?
I think in the NFC, my lock is the New Orleans Saints. I think the New Orleans Saints, even though I said that they're going to lose this week, they are the best team in the NFL right now. If they continue the way they've been going, the New Orleans Saints are going to be the lock in the NFC. The AFC, it's a little tricky because you have teams like the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Steelers.
The Texans are playing
The Texans are 8 straight. I think personally I would say in the AFC Championship it's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New England Patriots. And I think this game comes down to where is it played. If this game is played in Foxborough, then they have no chance. The New England Patriots will be back to the Super Bowl, where they will get beat by the New Orleans Saints.
Now, the top 4 teams, it's not even debatable right now. The 2 in the NFC is the Rams and the Saints. The 2 in the AFC is the Chiefs and the Pats. Give me an NFC team and an AFC team that have real Super Bowl chances.
In the AFC, I think I know I said they'd lose to the Patriots if they were playing in New England, but I am really impressed with what I've seen from the Los Angeles Chargers. And if Melvin Gordon comes back from his MCL sprain and he's healthy, I think the Chargers are going to be a tough team to beat. And in the NFC, it's tough because those top 2 teams that you said, in the Rams and the Saints, they're really good. I'm not a big fan of the Rams. I don't think that this year they're going to – I don't even think they'll get to the NFC Championship game. I think they are going to lose in their first round.
So you think they'll be a 2 seed again, because they probably will be, and they won't even win a playoff game this year.
I don't think so. No, I do not.
So who do you think takes them out?
I think that's a tough one because I still think that the Eagles are going to capture the NFC East, but I think they lose in the wild card round. To who? It's tough because the NFC is, you have those top 2 teams, and after that, it's a real clump. And I want to say maybe, you know what, I'm not even going to say a team because you know what, the Saints, they ain't losing.
I love my Vikings stuff, but they got too much going on. Although, if they could play some defense, and they're a team that could score enough with the Rams. A team, though, that if they played the Rams in the playoffs, if the Seattle Seahawks played the Rams in the playoffs, if Seattle got to the playoffs, they've played the Rams so tough this year. Beating a team in any sport 3 times is very tough. So if Seattle can get there and play the Rams, I think they would have a chance. Other than that, I just see it. In the NFC, I just feel like it's so top heavy. In the AFC, I agree with you. It is so much more wide open. Walk. Before we go, is there a game this weekend in college or NFL that you're really looking forward to?
The game I'm really looking forward to this weekend is my Eagles playing the Washington Redskins. This game, I think the Eagles are going to win, but this is the game that's going to determine the NFC East, I believe. If the Eagles beat the Redskins, then the Eagles are going to go on a hot streak. Just like last year when we played the Giants in week 4 when we hit that 61-yard field goal to win the game. Mm-hmm. That propelled us for the rest of the season because it was a huge win. Just like last week, we're down 19-3 to the New York Giants. And what do? We come back, and Jake Elliott, again, game-winning field goal. I think that momentum is going to carry us into this week against the Washington Redskins. I think we're going to go in, and we're going to win that game by 14 points. And then we got the Cowboys next week, and I think we're just going to keep on rolling.
All right, Watt, thanks for joining the show. Everybody have a safe drive to work today. Have a good Thursday, and keep on